Oakland has a very diverse community.
It's been a very eye-opening experience for me to live here and just to see the gangs and the drugs and the single-parent homes.
One of the biggest things I've learned is we have a lot to learn from the inner city.
Being here is just reminding people that God's alive.
Mission Year is loving God and loving people, and that's the bottom line.
I applied for Mission Year and I got assigned to Oakland.
This is what I've always wanted to do.
I felt really called to do it.
I've just been kind of like, treading like, God, okay, let me go.
I left the inner city to come to another inner city, Oakland.
And even at home, when I was explaining to people, I would just kind of say it's a Christian real world.
Mission Year is 6 people
In a house.
to come together,
From all over the country.
to live in the inner city,
Together you become involved with a local church.
to grow,
To build relationships.
and to learn.
Behind all that, further the kingdom of God.
One aspect of Mission Year is community service.
Like I chose Allendale Elementary.
Primary thing I do is work at Fremont High School and Friendly School. I help kids one-on-one that need help with basic writing skills. First time I came in here, I was pretty frightened. The lights were all busted out. Every class I went into, kids would yell at me. Kids would tell me to go home. Kids would tell me that, look at the white boy. Ronald McDonald, that was a good one.
I'm here solely to work at that school, to get to know my neighbors, and daily I have to remind myself to wake up and say that I'm not here for myself.
I had been praying earlier that I'd be given a sense of compassion towards the kids because I was having trouble serving them. Teachers started telling me that kid's abused. That kid has 2 older brothers that were shot doing drugs. That kid was in jail 2 years. I started hearing all these stories about the kids' backgrounds, and my opinion of them changed totally.
Part of our responsibility for Mission Year is to do outreach.
I always saw those people that went door to door as being incredibly stupid. For me, my door-to-door so far has been just going around and talking to people.
Well, there's a woman that I know whose husband was missing. I went to check on her and he still wasn't there, so I spent the day there. But even in the midst of her pain, she kept saying thank you to me. She just kept calling me her angel, her angel.
And so we provide support for people who don't normally get it.
But then when he did come home and they both were at church, it was just a Sunday, and he even came up to me and said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And he kept saying, thank you, everybody, thank you, everybody. And it was such a beautiful picture of the church for me.
Sam and Tracy, they just look like street people, They're so skinny. I mean, they're really, he looks malnourished to me. So I was like, you guys want something to eat? So I gave him some cereal. She wanted to put her hair up, so she used the bathroom. And Sam came up and was like, hey, me and my wife, we got kicked out of this place we were staying at and we need a place to stay. Can you help us? I was like, the best thing I can do for you is I can give you the car. I can let you sleep. My car's a wagon and I can let you lay down. So he was like, that's cool. We'll do that. That's cool.
Community is the most challenging thing I've ever done, but the best. We're with each other almost 24 hours a day
Loving your team is not easy.
in this small little house.
I always wanted to have a group to hang out with, like a family that has to be with me.
It's tough to live with people and try to keep them in mind when you are really mad at them.
It's just amazing as I've just read the Bible this year and seen just how the Lord, challenges us to serve the poor.
The inner city churches are social activists. They're a lot more political and more into helping the community around them.
It's a risk. I mean, it's such a risk that you have to take. Am I going to love the people that no one else cares about? It's so easy to use the excuse, well, they chose to be homeless, or, it's because they're, addicted to drugs and that's all they care about. And it's just easier, I think, for us to come up with shallow answers to their huge problems without taking the time to get to know them.
The whole purpose of Mission Year is to put Christians in accessible range of other people. If someone were to ask me what I was doing last year at this time, I was on the edge of depression and I was on the edge of abyss, and I'm not exaggerating. And to contrast that with this year, the meaning and the fullness of this experience was hitting me every single waking second.
The payoff for me is when the kid asked for help that had insulted me 2 weeks before. It may not seem like a lot, but it rocked my world.
I definitely believe I'm a better person because of this, and so therefore after mission year I'm going to be different in a good way.
Now I think I feel more at home in a multicultural setting. The different insights and different backgrounds that these people provide gives me a much clearer picture about the world around me and what being a Christian is really about.